Concerned, I'll let you lead, my man. I find
So
you
yeah,
so well versed in this.
I just want to say, Bears, you can obviously contribute to the chat, even the personal chat, the private chat that we have. Anything that you want to say is massively appreciated. And if you're able to come back in an hour, I don't know what your free time's like, but if you can come back in 90 minutes, we can try and get you back in the stream if that works. That would be great. Yeah, ABC. I think really what we need to do is we need to sort of pick up where we left off on the bull behavior and think about future dates and what we could see over the coming 30 to 60 days for this stock and for price discovery. So starting from the top, tell me what you're looking at. Tell me if you're looking to build a position, what your exit strategy might be, if you've got price targets, because that's something we don't often talk about on the show. We talk a lot about speculation, but we don't talk about our future plan personally. So I think it would be interesting to the chat if we did. ABC, are you there, bro?
I'm sorry, I just had to cut out for a quick sec.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Did you just ask me a question, brother? Sorry, I was.
Yeah, so I think probably if we've got an hour to kill, I think what we could do is we could pick up where we left off, really looking at the next 30 to 60 days, what we anticipate, perhaps some of our strategies in terms of if we've got any points of entry that we're looking at, what we'd be looking at in terms of exits, what we anticipate, some of our speculation, really building on that bull case for the news that we've received and where we could see this go next, to hype up the chat and also get them involved in terms of them thinking about what could be a very fruitful 60 days for us as traders.
Yeah, and I honestly believe that it's probably like well, I'm in this for the long run, so I definitely am going to certainly keep a good amount of shares in the company because of the people that are involved in this. I believe the turnaround is going to be phenomenal, and so I'm in for the long run. But in terms of the short run, I do believe we're going to see a lot of execution very, very soon, and I do believe it's going to expedite upwards at a astronomical level that for me, I am having an exit plan just in terms of using the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. I just unfortunately worry about the magnitude of this. And I wasn't part of the GameStop saga where people lost out on money because of buttons being shut off and stuff. And I work extremely hard for my money, and I don't want to take a chance and sit there on the couch going or whatever. So I have a very, very defined plan in terms of when I'm going to tranche this and exit with so many shares at each time and each level throughout it. And I encourage the same for a lot of people here too, because ultimately, you know, it doesn't matter how much you've got in this, it's your hard-earned cash. And my suggestion is that you pay attention for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like never before, because there's going to be an insane amount of FUD. There's going to be a lot of SEC droppings. There's going to be a lot of information thrown your way. And let's think about it. 8 billion people, there's 8 billion opinions out there.
Yeah. And that's important.
And when those numbers start to climb at it really affects your ability to make
cut
decisions.
out for us then, ABC, when you said there was 8 billion opinions, you cut out.
Oh, okay. So really, ultimately, you have to decide what you're going to do with your money out there. And I really encourage you to almost have a type of game plan in advance, because you will be caught in the adrenaline of what's going on. And when your little ticker is moving and you're seeing your bank account, your stock, your account grow, it is one of the most addictive things to watch. And you'll get these stupid little grins on your face, and you're starting to get this bodily little buzz. I would recommend, again, having an exit plan. I put it out for me. I'm doing 20%, 20%, 20, and then I'm probably leaving 40 or 20 of it for the long run. At what level I'm going to exit, it really depends on how fast this really scales. I'm of the firm opinion that we may even see 45 by next Friday. To be quite honest, it could even be higher than that. At that point in time, if I'm making 12 times my money, I may sever a tranche of shares at that point. For some of you, you want to wait till it hits $420.69, by all means. That's not financial advice, but just realize that in theory, there's quadrillions of dollars at stake here. When you put it in perspective in terms of FOMO, the catalyst, the entire synopsis all under one roof, we are talking trillions of dollars here. And I just want to make sure I get my fair share. I don't know how to be too specific on this. I guess my main message is to everybody, make sure you execute for what you need and how you want to play, because following out somebody else's is not specific to your circumstance.
Yeah, big time. And even if you just spend as much as 30 minutes drawing up a loose plot plan for what it is that you want to achieve in terms of price targets, in terms of strategies, that's worth doing. There's going to be huge manipulation on the sub and via other channels like the Discord that you might be in, the media in particular. There's going to be huge manipulation, and I think that is going to affect a lot of people, and it's going to play on our emotions. Like PP said, me personally, I was very affected by the news of Hudson Bay Capital. And Stephen Coate asks in the chat, is Hudson Bay a surrogate for some other party? We have no idea. We don't know if Hudson Bay are even involved in these warrants. Effectively, it is all just speculation from media outlets that have misdirected us in the past. And you better believe that during a squeeze, that misdirection and the false narratives will only amplify when there are losses that can be felt through big institutions. So I think it's important that everyone has their own individual plan. And like you said, some people want to day trade this. Good luck to you. I say good luck to those individuals. I hope you make a lot of money day trading it. Me personally, I'm not in it for a day trade. I'm an investor like you, ABC. I have a longer term outlook on this. Whilst I'd love to play a short squeeze play, I also love the fact that we've got a company that has a great future outlook in terms of clearing up its debt, restructuring, becoming cash flow neutral, and making shareholder value realized through Bye Bye Baby, which is a growing business. So my focus really will be on, like you say, ABC, keeping apprised of developments over the next few weeks, and really trying to digest what it is that we find. One of the things that we saw was when news of the warrants came out in the sub, it was hugely pushed that there would be this huge dilution. Since actually, getting through the documents and using a fine-tooth comb, people have realized that the warrants aren't really set up for hedging to take place in that way. Alpha asks in the chat, if the price hits $6, can they exercise the warrants? Well, yeah, it's like a call option. Either they can exercise the warrants or the warrants get called in before the 27th of February. But then if they use 9.9% or if they use the warrants to gain more than 9.9% of the company, then they have 61 days before they can even trade that. So whilst you can hedge that 9.9%, you're not going to be day trading it in the sense that you're driving the price up to $8, knocking it back down to $6, driving it to $9, knocking it back down to $6. That's not going to happen.
No. And here's the funny thing, guys, is that as this price climbs, a lot of you, and some of obviously a lot more people than are part of this chat, um, have been holding on for months. Some at $20, some at $24, some have been even in longer at the $34 mark. And so what's going to happen though is some people are going to exit, and what's going to happen is if there's enough volume, they might even halt. And what'll happen is you'll see it to come back. For some of you, you're going to realize, oh my God, that might be the peak. And you're going to scatter and quickly want
Mm.
to sell. And so that's where it takes some discipline here to realize that there are going to be ups and downs to this as well.
Yep.
And because of the way the system works with the halts, the numerical, the candles are not going to be proportionate to what you think is going on.
Yes.
And it causes chaos in the mind. And that's why I say if you predetermine what prices you want to get out, you could even set a limit sell on them.
Yeah.
Now, I don't really encourage that when it's being short traded, simply because you're advertising your price out there so that they know where to hit. But I don't think there's going to be too much short trading at the level that we've seen recently when we're actually on a squeeze as such. But again, I'm too new to this to know how crazy it gets. This is my first run. You know, I wasn't part of
Yeah.
the first game, so I can tell you, if I've already been up, at the $7 the other day, and to see what it did the next morning was deflating because I was already doubled my money at that point.
Yeah.
And I've been buying down this week. I've got 5 times more in my portfolio than I did when I first started 3 weeks ago. And let me tell you, that's a lot of money I've got riding here. But am I going to paper hands out at 6 or 8? No. I am looking, possibly to hit three digits here.
Yeah.
But it all depends on the ramp up. It all depends on what news is coming out. It all depends on how many people are kind of liquidating at that point because they've been hiding for a while. So all I can say is keep your eyes glued to the screens.